Hey everyone, Brandon from Goalorious. Today I'm super excited to be joined by Jacob from CRYPTOASSETS. Thanks, Jacob, for joining me.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm pleased to be here and be able to share the project and talk a bit about why I got into this, what our roadmap is, why we're different, and kind of where we're going.
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited about this project, CRYPTOASSETS. I'll put the link in the description for you guys to check it out. But maybe you could give a quick overview on what this project is, obviously who you are, and then also what this project is about.
Sure. So I'm Jake Beckley. My day job is I'm a Senior Vice President of Technology, Product, and Innovation for one of the leading innovation agencies in the U.S. And on the side, I work as a chairman of a foundation, which is called the Beckley Foundation. So I started it in 2016 as a means to eradicate childhood cancer. And I've done a lot of stuff, real things in real life to prove that. We've raised $1 million up to this point since 2016. And that's all going directly to cancer research and awareness. Primarily cancer research is my mission. So I've done things throughout the years. I've done things like built a rowboat and rowed across Lake Michigan, which is a large body of water here in Chicago, and did it in 24 hours nonstop. And then that caught the attention of a professional football player here in the U.S., which is Charles Peanut Tillman, which is famous for the peanut punch if you're in the football. And he saw what I had done, and he's like, I think that's awesome. He's like, I don't even think anyone could ever do that. And this is a pro athlete saying this. And he's like, if you ever think about doing it again, let me know, sign me up. He did the wingman thing from Top Gun and said, I'll be your wingman. And I took him up on the offer and did it again in 2019. And this time I designed the boat, and I'm not a boat builder by any means or a designer. I'm a guy who sits behind a computer all day. And I designed the boat. We built it in my garage, nights and weekends, and then we rowed across Lake Michigan together. And it was awesome. We raised like $280,000 from that event. And NFL, which is the football organization, they did a documentary on it. So it was really cool to go through that experience. But it kind of validated what I was doing. And he has a foundation as well. So it was just great that we could share in the experience and both do good as a result. So I've done a lot of different things in real life to try to raise money for childhood cancer. So I was sitting, when the pandemic hits, everybody kind of gets close, a lot closer together. And, foundations weren't able to raise money. We weren't able to hold our usual fundraising events, silent auction, raffles, all the traditional ways that we would raise money for the foundation. And we weren't able to do it. So, I'm in technology, I'm in innovation, I love crypto, and I'm like, kind of sitting down, I'm like, there's got to be a way to kind of merge the innovation intersection of technology and charity, and went off and started developing what is now known as CRYPTOASSETS. Which at the time I thought was pretty revolutionary. I didn't know that much about charities in crypto. But it turns out that there's a lot of charity tokens, and there have been a lot of charity tokens. And what I realized very quickly is that most of these were scams. Majority of them. I think it's 99% or 95% of charity tokens are scams. So I took that as an opportunity. I said, I'm going to do everything possible to prove the legitimacy of this project because I'm tying it to the foundation. I'm tying it to me personally, and it just means a lot to me. I mean, my passion is about, ending childhood cancer. So I've done everything I can. I've video doxed myself. I did the KYC, which doesn't really mean much. Done an audit on everything, and I put myself out there. I do daily video chats with my community to keep them aware of what I'm doing. Where the project's going, as well as soliciting feedback. This isn't my project at the end of the day. It's the community's project. I just happen to be the person who built it and the person who's helping steer it. But it's really being driven by the community. I mean, at this point, we have about 70 plus people volunteering on the project in a variety of different ways. So that's the extended team at this point. Everything from people who are organizing social media on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, to shilling teams and organizing all of those efforts, as well as traditional press and mainstream press as well, which I feel is a differentiator for our project over some of the other projects. There's the fact that we have a foundation behind us is adding a lot of credibility to the project in ways that a lot of projects don't have. They can't go mainstream. It's difficult for them to get on national news or or do press releases from a national perspective, a national level and national scale. And I think we've got all that working for us in a way that is just differentiating us every single day.
Yeah. First of all, great. That's a great story and great. That's very impressive. All the things that you've done. I don't think I could do that myself. But yeah, like I said, I've covered a lot of projects, and when I was into cryptocurrency, like I was trying to figure out ways to, how do I tell if it's a project is a scam or not? And it's just hard to tell. Everyone nowadays seems to have some sort of charity component, and I'm like, are they doing this for like tax purposes or something like that? But it's great to hear that you're focused on it and you're actually you have a mission behind it and you're actually trying to do it. And obviously you have a foundation that is legitimate. I don't know any other projects out there that are either legitimate companies or backed by that have their own foundation, let alone knowing who the founders are. So yeah, it's definitely been a big issue with what I've been dealing with.
Yeah, and I definitely didn't want to be that person or that token that didn't put themselves out there. The ones that hid behind the screen or the keyboard. I wanted to put myself out there because I wanted to. Our mantra in our group and this just the entire project in general is about transparency and authenticity. And I have probably a problem where I'm a bit too transparent. But I want it to be that. I want people to know what's going on, even if it's bad. Just know what's going on, know where we're heading, be authentic. Like, what are we trying to do here together? And at the end of the day, the other problem with charity tokens is that people are in this space because they want to make money. That's bottom line. That's why people are here. And it's what I feel is the most rewarding part of that is when people come into my project, they have that motive, but they stay because they believe in me. They believe in my passion. They believe in what I'm trying to do. And then they become, brand advocates. They become loyalists, evangelists, if you want to even say it like that. But that they end up, spreading the word and trying to get other people in because they believe in it so much. We've been able to directly help so many families in the past 30 days. We're a 31-day-old project now. And we've been able to help so many families directly, people in need. And our wallet, our charity wallet is building up now to the point where we can now help fund cancer research to like a massive degree. Before, this token existed, it would have taken me a year to raise, 150 grand, 200 grand. And it would have been, taking people out to dinners, hosting silent auction events and raffles and just all of these things on a monthly, yearly basis. And we've been able to do that in 30 days. And that's just remarkable to me. The scale at which this project has grown and how fast it's grown, how fast the community's rallied around it. We reached all of the milestones so quickly. Everybody says you have to get on CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap, and then you got to get listed on an exchange. They give you these roadmaps of things you're supposed to follow. And we're on like an expedited roadmap. We did CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap within 20 hours of each other and, organically, which to say, it's not like this was forced. And it's great to see how fast things are moving. And I think our community is building at such a rapid pace. I don't know our exact holder count right now, but I think it's over like 3,800, something like that. And we're just waiting for that milestone of 5,000, get our little icon logo on Trust Wallet and MetaMask. And I think that's another great milestone. It adds a lot of validation to the project when you can achieve that. So we're just excited about where it's gone.
Cool.
One of the things that I like to talk about is kind of the families, behind the foundation. And there's a story that I'll tell you, and this is actually how the project came to exist. And I mentioned I was building a boat in 2016. And, I was doing it entirely for childhood cancer research at that point. And I wanted to raise as much money as possible. So I tried to think of the craziest thing I could think of. I thought about, I can go skydive or I can go climb a mountain, which I've done before. But I'm like, I wonder if anyone's actually rowed across Lake Michigan in a boat. And, is it even possible? And I didn't even know what rowing was because I'm not athletic, of course. But in 2016, I started building that boat in my garage, almost like Noah, Noah's Ark. And this neighbor girl comes up to me, really full of energy. She wasn't even wearing shoes. She just kind of runs up and says, "Hey, what you doing? What you building?" And I go into the whole story about, I'm building this boat. I'm going to row across Lake Michigan. And I'm doing it for pediatric cancer. And she looks at me and says, I have pediatric cancer. And immediately, those who know me know I'm not really social. I'm not the best person to have conversations with. And I kind of changed the subject. I didn't know what to say. I said, "Oh, look at this thing on this part of the boat here, and look what this thing does." And because I didn't have a response. And it was just great, though, to know that what I was doing was actually affecting somebody right there that I could physically see. So I built the boat, rode, did all of that. And, the pandemic hits last year. So 2020, March 2020. And communities got really small. You stopped commuting to work. You started, living right around you is where you kind of interacted because you were building bubbles, and you didn't know at that time what was happening with the pandemic. And, so we got close with this family who I'd never actually met. And I asked them, I said, "Well, how's your daughter doing?" And unfortunately, she didn't survive pediatric cancer. And it really hit me hard, to know that, first off, it was great that I had the opportunity to meet her. And secondly, it was just, it just really hurt, to know that what I'm doing isn't happening fast enough and we're not making a change fast enough. So we were sitting in his garage during the pandemic. Both of us were into Dogecoin at this point. Robinhood got it and all that, Coinbase and stuff. And we're just thinking, why isn't there a cryptocurrency or a crypto token that deals with pediatric cancer? And that's what sparked it. And that's when I went off. I developed it. I'm a developer, technologist type person, so I went and figured out how to do it, and got it working. And it worked for a bit. We had green days every day, but I was pretty naive at that point. So I had developed in the first contract, I had developed a minting function, which I didn't know at that time was not actually a good function to have in a cryptocurrency. I didn't know. So I had to rebuild it. And at that point, I had reached out to a group which is called Rug Seekers. And they put me in touch with a couple different dev groups, but inevitably the last dev group that I connected with, which was Dogs United Token. And, so I met with Eric over there, who's their lead dev founder. And he's helped me so much to come out with my new version, which was released 31 days ago, and fix the contract and, get everything in order, clean house, to say, clean it up just in general. And it's been such a successful launch from that point on. I mean, we went from a 200,000 market cap when we launched. And now it's at, I think it's at like 13 or just over 13 million in 30 days, which is just awesome to see how fast it's completely grown. It's just been awesome. And we've raised a lot of money in the process too, which is the whole purpose for me. Everyone's like, "Oh, you got into this because you want to make some money," and the reality is I didn't. I gave my life to a life of service years ago. And I just happened to find my life of service is spent in helping others around pediatric cancer. And so, of course, throughout time, you buy tokens along the way. You want to keep the chart green, or you want to, keep things moving. But I don't have any tokens. I just burn them all. My whole motive here is the cause and the mission I'm trying to come out with, which is changing the world. And that's what excites me is where this project is going versus where it is today. I mean, we're on a great path and we've done some great things, but this is nothing compared to where this needs to get and where I think it's going to get. And I have the technical knowledge as well as the social influence around me to be able to take it there. And that's just what excites me the most is where this thing's going to go.
Yeah, and thanks for sharing that story. Obviously, I think we're all somehow affected by someone, even if it's not pediatric cancer of some sort. And I think that's what people want is people behind projects that really believe in it and really trying to, change the world, make a difference, not just trying to make money. And I think that's why these people have stuck by. I think you called out a number like there's 70 people who are just like ambassadors or just trying to, on the team that are just talking about this constantly. So I think that's great. It goes to show that, they believe in what you're trying to do and stuff like that. And you obviously mentioned your foundation. You have a foundation. There's not much projects out there with that, but it really shows that you're in this for, a real honorable purpose. And I think you're going to keep doing this as long as, you're able to help others, which you have done already. So, and it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We actually, we have helped a lot of people And I said it before, but I think our differentiator is that we weren't just a project or an idea that tried to attach itself to a cause. This was started from the cause perspective first, and then we figured out, we should probably start a crypto. It's kind of the inverse of how all these other projects start. And I think that that just demonstrates the I guess how valid of a concept this is and how well it's backed. That it wasn't started with an idea like, how can we make money? How can we exploit people's emotions? And how can we kind of grow a project on the backs of people's hearts? And that's not what this is. This is, we have a problem with the foundation not being able to raise money. We need to find a way to be innovative. And what better way to be innovative than go where people are spending money and try to get them to believe in what we're trying to do. And that's exactly what we did. And it's been remarkable.
So you talked about, 31 days, you launched a new contract. So maybe you want to touch on like what's coming up in the near future. Obviously, you've had the exchange listings, which is great. So everyone can see, find you guys and things like that. But maybe you talk a little bit about where you see yourself in maybe the upcoming days, weeks, months, years. Again, every time I ask this question, anything that you're able to share, if there's no spoilers needed, but anything that you want to share, I think would be great. But like I said, I saw that you've done audit and all that stuff already, so it's great the amount of progress you've done. But anything you want to share?
Yeah, we've boy, it's moving so fast. I was not expecting this sort of pace when I went into it. I really just thought I would create a contract, launch it, and walk away from it. I had no idea that I would be working 24 hours a day on this. I mean, my sleep patterns are disrupted and my social life is disrupted, but it's been great. And we've accomplished so much. You mentioned the listings. That was a major milestone. But the key to projects, as I've found out, it's you got to keep feeding it with stuff. You got to feed it all the time. And you feed it through marketing, for example, is your feeder channel. And, projects tend to do marketing in, the crypto space. I think our differentiator is that we're spending a lot more time marketing outside of the crypto space. So, for example, people who find out about Cure Token, they want to get into it, but they don't know how. For example, they don't know like what is BSC or what is blockchain. What is this crypto? They don't know, but they're attracted to the idea that they can get in, they can actually do some good at the process. So we've started up an entire channel around education, around educating normal people, mothers and fathers and grandparents and aunts and uncles, people who aren't in the crypto space, about what it is, what to watch out for. What are different types of crypto to even start? What is a wallet? A lot of people don't even know. And then educating them on how to get in to the space as well as how to acquire Cure Token. And these people are going to be lifelong holders of the project. These aren't people who are looking to make a fast buck or day trade. And I think that's a differentiator for us. And we've been able to naturally and organically grow our chart to new milestones very easily through that channel. The other thing is we're spending a lot more marketing time and effort outside of the crypto space as well. We're looking at partnerships, ambassador programs. We're looking at other foundations to scale this, so that it's not just a single focused foundation, which is mine, but looking at a global network of foundations where we can have impact all over the world. That's exciting to me as well, because foundations have an inherent flaw in them, in that eventually, in order to scale a foundation, you have to start spending money. You have to start paying people. You have to start spending on marketing. You have administrative costs, all these things. And once the foundation gets larger and larger and larger, somebody gives you $1 and eventually 20 cents of it goes out. And that's not right, at the end of the day. When I started my foundation, I wanted to be known as the foundation that was dollar in, dollar out forever. And so far, so as when the foundation started, my wife and I made a commitment, and we said every dollar that comes in, we're going to put on 50 cents more, so that we are known as the positive foundation. So every dollar in comes out as $1.50. And we've been able to maintain that for a very significant amount of time. It's not sustainable as you grow, but we are not going to get to the point where our foundation is anything less than $1 out. That's just my mission of who I am as a person. So that's a flaw in foundations. So you think, how does a foundation scale if they can't put more money into marketing, getting the word out there, into administrative fees and all these things? And And Cure is actually the way this is going to happen. So Cure is going to be building a network of foundations, like-minded foundations, who have the same principles and beliefs, excuse me, same principles and beliefs as I do about dollar in, dollar out. And we're going to build a network of scale, as opposed to being a single foundation that gets larger. It's going to be a single foundation that connects with tons of other foundations throughout the world, vetted, valid foundations. And that's going to be how we scale the charitable aspect of this. The other things on the roadmap are kind of the obvious crypto ones. You know, you get listed all over the place. Then you pick an exchange that you want to go off into, or you do a bridge to Ethereum, which is also on a potential roadmap here. You develop other types of technologies or games or NFTs and all these other things to just add more tech and glam to your project. Of course, I'm looking at all of that stuff. Our roadmap, though, is more realistic. I think once you start hearing about the use case that is in current development right now, it is a use case and utility that is absolutely going to change the world. So there are two use cases which are currently in development, concept strategy, and proof of concept phase. Both of them are centered around NFT technology, because NFTs are the wave of the future. You know, it's not just entertainment in 3D and images and art and music and movies. It has a real utility. And the utility that I'm going after is in the healthcare industry. So, you know, there's a couple problems out there today. One is, healthcare is not accessible worldwide at all. You know, it's not equal worldwide. You know, some regions of the world have great healthcare, and others, have, none. So we got to solve that. That's a world problem. And through Cure Token could become the currency for equal and accessible. Excuse me. Cure Token could become the currency for equal and accessible healthcare worldwide. That's a real case scenario. The second, though, is what I'm actually more interested in, and I think there's going to be much more breakthrough and innovation in healthcare, is in data. Imagine NFT, and I'm not talking about the visual side of NFT with the spinning logo. I'm talking about the utility of NFT, which is for it's immutable, it's data storage, it's a point of authority, it's validation, all of the benefits of blockchain and NFT. There are dynamic NFTs, data NFTs. So, for example, an NFT can grow and be organic over time. The belief I have is that in the future, and what I'm building, is that there's an NFT-based blockchain network where data, health data, is put into it, and it's agnostic. It's not tied to an individual, but it's all data. And it could be around rare disease, it could be around cancer, it could be just medical data in general. When you opt into this network, you're offering up your data. And in exchange for that, you would get royalties for usage of that data. Very similar to the NFT concept. If somebody, buys or sells your NFT, then you can get, commission for it or residual income from it. It's the same thing in healthcare. You should be getting paid for your data. And this data is used by researchers, and the researchers need access to data. By building a network where people are rewarded, where researchers get access to massive amounts of data, we're going to have faster breakthroughs, and things are going to be moving a lot faster in the future. And it's going to be built on blockchain and NFTs. So, for example, somebody would opt in their data. It would stay with them throughout their life. Every time they get test results, or doctors would put data into it, that data matures and you get more insights into it. And, demographical information on the data, age and sex and gender, race, location. But that keeps getting greater and greater and greater. And that NFT continues and continues. And then researchers can leverage it. They can access it. They can extract different types of insights from it and then do their research. One of the other gaps in research is that research is happening all over the world on all different types of diseases and different topics. But at the end of the day, a lot of times the same research that's happening in Germany is happening in the US, is happening in South America, and they're not talking. They're not communicating, they're not sharing, they're not collaborating. All that work is being done, again, recursively. And sometimes they release some medical journals, or sometimes, somebody will release some sort of paper and it says, oh, I've been doing this research, here you go, have a look at it. But you don't get access to the data. It's sort of like a closed box. So that needs to be fixed. People want to have breakthroughs. They want to change the world. They just need access to the information and the platform in order to do that. So that's what Cure, I feel I'm most passionate about. I feel like that Cure could solve that problem in a way that benefits both, the normal people in the world, as well as the research and inevitably the next generations.
Yeah, I feel like even people are afraid to share. They're like, why should I share my data if I'm not get rewarded for it? So I feel like if this was in place, that more and more people are going to be, in a position to be like, yeah, I mean, if I'm getting rewarded for sharing my data, more people would do it. So the more people that opt in, the more data points, the research is going to be better.
Yeah.
I know, obviously, with the pandemic going on and, vaccines for younger kids, there's not enough data points to, work on the vaccine. But if there was, rewards or ways to, be incentivized to do so, then more people out there would be like, okay, yeah, I'll opt in, because some of that stuff is probably even happening today where people have their data out and then they're not getting rewarded for it. It's still being used. So this is like a nice ecosystem to help kind of like push this. And like I guess you pointed out was to get the research done faster and of course all around the world, which is obviously the benefit of crypto and blockchain. So I think it makes sense.
Yeah, definitely the benefit of blockchain. And, the other major benefit of blockchain is that it's anonymous. And that's the other key point here is people don't want their data tied to them. They don't want someone else in some part of the world doing something with their data if they know who you are. And that's the fact that this is anonymous just adds so much more value to the entire concept.
Yeah, I talk a lot about NFT project, obviously on my channel. Obviously, it has a visual art component to it, but I do really believe in the technology behind NFTs. Whether that the NFT of like art and new collections popping up every single day might die out, but the idea of like the technology behind it is like obviously really strong, and there's lots of use cases that I don't even think have been realized yet. But so yeah, I always say to my community, there's always lots of opportunities in that. So
there is. I mean, this isn't a segment on NFT, but think about the future of NFTs. Today, and you go to a website, for example, and you don't know where those images came from, royalty-free images or original articles or even the logos, So you could have spoof websites out there all the time. And it happens in crypto space a lot. Imagine a world where a website was an NFT. That was a delivery vehicle. So now you know the authenticity of it, the authenticity of the image there, the article, the logo, everything in the future. Every digital asset is going to be an NFT. And we're not there yet, but that's the future of it. I'm just trying to take this, leap years ahead on the data side, on the healthcare side. But the world ahead of us is going to be entirely NFT based. The entire internet will be NFT based.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Like I said, I've always been a big NFT fan because of the technology. I try to do educational videos on my channel about what is NFTs and how do you mint NFTs and things like that. So, yeah. So, and then going to your earlier point about you're trying to educate people who are new to cryptocurrency. Obviously, they will come in believing in your mission and your vision. And a lot of my community is new, and they're always looking for projects that are like, okay, not that are going to be around for long term, that have long term utility, long term vision, and they get tired of the meme coins, the dog coins, the baby coins, etc. They're looking for projects that really have a good future and have a good mission behind it. So definitely exciting.
I totally agree with that. I had not truly experienced crypto until I started this. My level of crypto was Cardano, Solana, Doge, that SafeMoon, that sort of level. And then I realized that there's a whole other level out there that I never knew existed. And it's exciting to see, but at the same time, it's full of scams. At the end of the day, a lot of projects are rug pulls or honeypots, and it's just it's destroying, I think, what people are the valid projects and what people are trying to do. And to talk a bit about the future of our project, just to kind of put I guess one more point there is that this project is not a meme project. This is a project with a real roadmap and real use cases in development. And these are game-changing use cases. This isn't like, something with Coke or something with a dog. This is real, and this is real life. And I'm confident, I'm 100% confident that this project, that Cure token, is going to be world-renowned, world-recognized. And my goal is to make it one of the top 10 cryptocurrencies in the world. And I absolutely believe that this will happen. It'll sit alongside some of the biggest. It's going to take some evolutions throughout time. We're going to need, obviously, more work, potentially our own blockchain, more contracts, but I know we'll get there. And anyone who comes into the project at this point is like buying into Apple, buying into Google. I really feel that this is going to be the next biggest cryptocurrency ever.
Yeah, like I said, you guys accomplished a lot in a short amount of time. Obviously, you have the foundation and the vision behind it. You're here to stay. Everyone who seems to be hearing about this project seems to be latched on and seems to be like, they believe in the mission. So then, and exactly what you said earlier, where even if they're not into cryptocurrency, but they're into the vision of this project, and they're like, okay, how do I get involved? And you say, well, okay, you have to, here's how to buy the token, etc. They'll do it because of the fact that, they believe in the project and the opportunity, which, like I said, you mentioned that on the roadmap right now, you're working on a ton of things. And I think each one of those, whether it's NFTs or potential blockchain, there's just lots of opportunities that you guys are going to take advantage of. So I can't wait to hear all the new updates, coming in the near future. So maybe you could tell my audience how to get involved, whether that's investing in the token directly, joining your socials, or and then anything last that you want to mention about this project.
Yeah, obviously we have all the usual social media channels, every single one. I don't think we're not on one. We have the website that anyone can go to. There's two very important areas of our website that I like to communicate. One is it's a grant application. There are so many people out there in need of support. Families going through, the battling of having someone with childhood cancer. It's a difficult thing to go through. And I've met so many families throughout the years who struggle, and the parents, one of them either has to quit their job, maybe both of them, to care. And, their mortgage suffers, car payments, all the things that we take for granted sort of like disappear and become problems. And they shouldn't have to be. They should have zero problems to be able to focus on their child. And so we have a grant form. And this is a worldwide grant form. It's not just a regional thing. And people can go in and submit for a grant for a family or for a child. And we vet them every single day. We're vetting these things and finding legitimate families, legitimate people in need, and we're helping them. And that's a real thing. So take a look at that. I mean, that's the most important thing to me, is that people feel like we're doing good and feel like they can contribute in that process. And then the second part of the website, which I love as well, is it's the giving section, where we describe all of the things we've done and all the families and kids that we've actually helped. And we have pictures of them. We tell the stories of what the contribution from the community meant to them. And it's just great to see. And we're doing a ton of these. We're trying to get to the point where we're doing multiple contributions and grants on a daily basis. We're at that point of scale right now. So that's why we're bringing on ambassadors around the world. We brought on celebrity ambassadors as well to be a part of the project that believe in what we're doing. And they're going to help us kind of spread the word, get it out there as quickly as possible so that we can have, make a big impact and have the benefit of doing a lot of good as a result. This is definitely a game-changing project. The last point I'll make about, our project, it's pediatric childhood cancer research. Okay. It's a very narrow focus. That's not the future of Cure forever. That's just what it is today, because that's what I'm passionate about. Cure is going to scale way beyond childhood cancer. It's going to be inclusive of all catastrophic diseases and ailments. So rare disease and any type of a catastrophic disease in children. Eventually, then, it's going to scale beyond children into adulthood diseases and catastrophic diseases. Cure, the brand, Cure, the token, Cure, the project is going to be the project that covers all diseases, all healthcare, and it'll have a charity component forever. And it'll definitely benefit childhood cancer forever. But the goal here is to build something that is going to change the world, and that's what we're building. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, so it sounds great. And like I said, I can't wait to hear about the newest updates for you guys and how everything progresses. Seems like I was taking a look at the chart, and it seems like you guys have made a lot of great progress, again, in a short amount of time. Can't wait to, and obviously you're doing all these great things already to these families, which is definitely, appreciated. So I'll put the link to the website in the description and the links to like all the socials. But thanks for taking the time to chat about this project. Super excited. I know my community is gonna be excited to learn more about this in the upcoming future. So thanks for taking your time today.
No, absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
All right. Thanks, everyone. See ya.